Have you ever wondered why you're so small in a crowd of men drinking beer and you just have to ask yourself, why am I here? Well, me personally, no, but this here Hasbulla the Gravy Chip. He might be a little bit short on one side and have a bit of a short temper, and he might be a little bit stumped. Anyways, in today's video, we're gonna try and survive 100 days in Mount and Blade 2 Bannerlord. The goals I've set myself for this video is, 1, we're gonna try and get married. Number 2, we're gonna be able to craft the finest swords in Calradia. And number 3, if I die, this video ends. That simple. Now, this could be a very short video, but nonetheless, I think it's about time that we showed Calradia our short tempo. Okay, I swear I'll stop. Okay, for our starting culture, I've decided to start with Valandians. The Valandian culture gives us 5% more renown we earn from battles, which will help us level up our clan tier much easier. We get 15% more income while serving as a mercenary. We also have a 10% production bonus to villages that are bound to castles. But the only negative debuff we get is recruiting lords' armies cost 20% more influence, but that doesn't really matter considering the fact that I don't really want to go for a massive conquest in today's video. Now this is where the magic began, and this is where Hasbulla the Gravy Chip was made in the character customization. So I begun the framework and making him an absolute totally Chad midget. Voila, Hasbulla was born. Born from the sheer complexities of my strange mind. And yeah, no, these are Hasbulla's parents. You can definitely tell where he got his facial features from. Here's my live reaction when I first saw them. Oh my god. Now, I had to choose what family I was going to be born into. I chose the urban blacksmith to get 10 skill levels and 1 focus point to smithing and 2-handed weapons. And quite literally, I was looking like Hasbulla if he was born 600 years ago. For my early childhood, I chose Yorbron, getting 10 skill levels and 1 focus point to 2-handed and throwing weapons. Now, for my adolescence, I chose Repaired Project for 10 skill levels and 1 focus point to smithing and engineering. And by the time puberty had hit Hasbulla, we had joined the skirmishes, gaining us 10 skill levels and 1 focus point to throwing and 1-handed skill tree. For our young adulthood, I had chose to invest some money in some land, gaining 10 skill levels and 1 focus point to trade and smithing, and 1 attribute point to intelligence, 1 to calculating, and gaining 10 renown. And when it came to our age and seeing how old we were, yeah, I started to look more like a mentally ill bullfrog. Now it was finally time for us to design our house banner. I chose this dull-witted looking pigeon with the family banner completed. It was now finally time to select our last name, the Gravy Chip. And finally, when it came to selecting the game's difficulty, I went with Bannerlord, the highest difficulty, Iron Man mode, just because I was feeling confident with myself. Day 1 had finally started. I decided to go down to endurance and add an attribute point. For smithing, I decided to go for efficient charcoal maker, as this is a more efficient method of charcoal production that produces 3 units of charcoal from 2 units of hardwood. This process is very important, as you'll see in a couple of seconds, and also maxing out our focus points to increase our smithing XP gain. I decided to recruit a bunch of Valandian recruits to provide us some security on the road so we don't run into bandits. And then to make a quick profit, I decided to strip myself butt naked and gain extra 111 gold. Now, in order for us to become the best blacksmith in Calradia, there's a specific spot that we need to go to in order to make this process 100 times more easier. So we need to go to the Batannian homelands of Maranath and Sionon, as that area has a decent amount of hardwood that we could use in the charcoal and return use the charcoal to break down weapons to get raw materials. And off I had gone, traveling through the forests of Calradia, heading up to Batannia, with me running butt naked past villages and people probably questioning why there's a midget with a very terrible beard running naked next to everyone. And then I had saw 15 looters randomly appear, and I decided to recruit more troops to defend myself from these bandits. So I decided to wait for some time, hoping that the looters would pass, but it turns out they wouldn't, so I just decided to go on through, and they were chasing me, and well, I had no choice but to fight him, and he also had the audacity telling me to back off, and this got real personal. And there we were. I was ready to kill these bandits, and the idea came across me that, could you ever imagine a naked midget commanding a bunch of troops on a very small horse? So I commanded my troops to march forward since the bandits were already in the water. Diving on in, I had learned a very harsh lesson that my horse was going to be a bit slow, and I'd basically learned that over 50% of my body was underwater, and I was basically drowning at that point. So I was basically a little stealthy midget assassin in the water, just getting trampled on by giants, and well, my sword was just not connecting, but lucky enough, we were winning, but there were looters at the top, and they had the high ground. And quite clearly they had not watched Star Wars and not learning the ways of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I have the high ground!
And just like that, victory was ours. We had managed to win, but at the cost of blood getting all over my sexy, slim body. We had managed to plunder gold and grab some prisoners, and I decided to upgrade the Valandian recruits and Battanian volunteers. And just grabbing all their loot that we could also sell into Marinef's market, making us even more money. And we had finally made it to Sionon. With all the items that I had purchased from Sionon's weapon market, I needed to find me some hardwood, as there was a local town nearby that specializes in selling hardwood, buying the hardwood for around 96 gold. It was now day 4 in our long adventure, and I'd still not even begun my smithing adventure. With all the materials needed in order for us to begin the smithing, we would refine the hardwood into charcoal and gaining a level in the process, and smelting down all the weapons we had purchased. Now you do have a smithing stamina bar. In order to refill that, we have to wait time in a city, and running around in the open world would not refill that bar. And smeltering all the weapons away like a smelter does. Yes, that was a channel pun. It was about to be day 5, and we still hadn't even made a weapon. But now it was finally time for us to make a weapon, and making a two-handed weapon, we only had 1 parts to pick from all these 4 slots. Now we would make 2 weapons, and we would actually go ahead and sell them off to Sionon's market. As you can see here, their value is at 685 and 729. I decided to sell the highest price sword to make a bit of a profit, and decided to smelter the other sword in order to gain some materials back and hope to learn a new part to make better and more profitable swords. And I would repeat this process throughout the rest of the video, unlocking a new sword part and using that, and basically using the materials that we had managed to smelt from our other two-handed sword. I would basically sell that one off, and after selling it off, I would wait for some time to refill my stamina bar. And it was now day 6, and I decided to make my route finally to Marinef, and then repeating the same process that we did back in Sionon. I even ended up making 3 more swords and gaining a much larger profit, around 2,000 gold coins. And then on day 7, I made my way to Dung Lenny's. In order to make our smithing process a lot easier, I needed a companion, and we had met Zosios the Butcher. He would cost around 560 gold, which was pretty expensive, but a very well-earned investment. Reason why is he was basically a second stamina bar, and upgrading his smithing and helping him smelt and refine things for me. Not only would it make the process much faster, but we could in return get more parts quickly, and which would make us turn into more of a profit. I decided to join a tournament, grab the Water Hot Blood horse. Going into my first round, I was just swinging my sword around like a crazy 2-year-old child having a temper tantrum. The Battanian warrior was coming at me fast, but nothing could beat Hasbullah's fast-swinging Giga Chad arms. Our second round had begun, and it was basically one gigantic duo battle royale. Things were starting to get hectic. I'd swing my axe around multiple times, hitting my teammate, and he ended up dying. And now I really couldn't die. I was basically screaming and swing my axe around like no tomorrow. And so I had the idea to just run away and run into the other 2 teammates, but they ended up going after me instead, and they finally ended up fighting. And so I would rush in and basically kill everyone else, taking down 2 of these teammates. Only 1 was left, and I would basically just hack him down like a tree. And we had managed to clutch up the victory, pursuing on to the next round. This round was basically a landslide, and then the finals, I was fighting Goran. Now he was a Battanian noble, and I planned on smothering his guts all over his mother's face. The fight was looking tense as he was changing his style up, and basically I just, well, hacked him like a tree on the left side, and, well, he just fell. And finally winning the horse that we had set out to achieve. So I went to go sell the horse, and had managed to sell it for 17,000 coins. With this investment in, and things were starting to look a little bit good from here, and it was already day 10, and I was still repeating the same process. From days 21 to 50, I was just trying to get my smithing skill up by traveling around the map of Calradia. Now, this is when the video starts to get a little bit spicy. You see, our smithing had managed to reach rank 100. Now, this isn't the max level of smithing, that would be level 300, but I had considered myself to be the best swordsmith in all of Calradia, but I had forgotten my other goal. I kind of forgot that I needed to get married. And by the time I had realized this, it was day 60. We only had 40 more days left, and if we had failed to get ourselves a future fiance, we could waste days trying to find a single lady. And sadly for Hasbullah here, even with our new pimped-up drippy cape, nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody, wanted Hasbullah. Our first lovely lady was Alaneth. I thought that she'd be pretty fertile. I had come back to talk about our future together. Using the calculating option, I genuinely thought that this was going way too well. We had managed to pass the first step of trying to get married, but failing, and in order to block all the pain away, I decided to sell all my lovely swords. Next trick I tried to give out my W Riz was a Vermina. And well, just like that, I was straight up rejected on the spot. Lovely. And, well, I had nowhere else to go but to go to the far north of Sturgia. And on my way there and trying to find my lovely Rapunzel, I went into the keep and my god, 4 breedable females. Now I had to obviously individually check to make sure they weren't married. And, well, let's just say, due to my small height, I was obviously rejected. And for some weird reason, I kind of had a weird reflection of my own self in real life. And that reflection was the ability to get no bitches. It was now about day 82 and, well, I was now on my way to the final destination to find the wife. Currently, I was going 0-6 and I thought that I would finally find the one. Chagun, she was around my age, but, well, I still got rejected. Damn it! And then I had found the one, Yana. I was in the city of Baltikand, and this would be my final attempt at trying to find marriage. I'd offer her my hand, and, well, lucky for us, she would consider. Some time had passed, and it was now time to talk about each other. I would go for the calculating, and his success. And it was now the final option. I relied on calculating and we had managed to get to the second round, boys. Now, here's where things got interesting. We managed to succeed the first time, but straight up get admitted that we're quite ugly. But with Hasbullah's Riz, we had succeeded the second time. But I felt like I was playing a gambling game with only 2 options, yes, with 34% chance. We had done it. I got engaged to a woman who I only met 3 days ago. But now I had to go and find her family head, Issa. But now, well, it was day 100. Anyways, I'd like to say that this video was quite a success. We had managed to survive 100 days in Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord. And if you guys want a part 2, don't forget to get this video to 500 likes. Also, don't forget to subscribe. And if you guys want to support the channel even more, you can now become a channel member. For about $6 Australian per month, you get member shout-out, priority reply to comments, and exclusive members-only videos, along with your own personal role in my current Discord server, along with 4 custom-made smelter emojis made by yours truly. And you get to see new videos 1 week early before they fully release. But once again, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful night.